Did you know that Rothko refused to call his work paintings and instead he would call them presences? Born in Russia in 1903, Rothko immigrated to America as a child and somehow ended up at Yale. He didn't even originally plan on becoming an artist. In fact, the entire trajectory of modern art basically changed because this man casually walked into an art class in New York and then never emotionally recovered from it. Imagine attending one random class and deciding, yes, actually, I will now dedicate my life to psychologically devastating rectangles. What makes this even funnier is that his early works looked nothing like the Rothko paintings people know today. His paintings were figurative, surrealist, crowded, strange, and full of distorted human forms and mythological influences. The transition is fascinating. His work slowly dissolved over time. Figures became shapes, shapes became atmosphere, and eventually the painting stopped trying to depict things at all. Rothko hated when people reduced his work to abstract art, mostly because he was never interested in abstraction for the sake of aesthetics. He once said, I'm interested only in expressing basic human emotions tragedy, ecstasy, doom. Which is honestly insane considering the paintings are technically just layered rectangles floating on colored backgrounds, yet somehow they work. There's a psychological science to them. The edges blur softly so your eyes can't fully settle. Colors vibrate against each other, and the scale overwhelms your peripheral vision until your brain kind of stops categorizing the painting as an object. Instead, it becomes an atmosphere. Rothko understood that the human brain responds emotionally to color and space long before it intellectually understands them. His paintings are less like images and more like atmospheres. And the thing about Rothko paintings is that images genuinely do not do them justice. Seeing them online is nowhere near what he intended. They were never meant to be consumed as tiny JPEGs between Instagram reels. Rothko specifically made them enormous so they could completely fill your visual field. My Parsons professor once told us she cried in front of a Rothko painting, and honestly, nobody believed her. Different people react differently to his work. Some cry, some feel peaceful, some feel absolutely nothing at all. That unpredictability is part of the work itself. The paintings ask you to let emotion happen before explanation. Now, let me tell you a bit about how you view a Rothko. First, you move closer, then feels socially acceptable, close enough that the painting starts becoming environment instead of object. The ideal distance would be about 45 centimeters to 60 centimeters. Second, give your eyes time to adjust. At first, they can seem flat or empty, but after a few minutes, the colors start shifting, glowing, vibrating. Layers appear out of nowhere. And third, stop trying to understand it immediately. Rothko's work is not meant to be solved like algebra homework. It is meant to be felt. So, brain switch needs to be off. All this is probably why Rothko still feels so relevant in contemporary art and culture today. In a world where everything is hyper fast, hyper documented, hyper captioned, and aggressively explained, his paintings almost resist consumption. They force slowness. Even now, people stand in front of Rothko's for absurd amounts of time, searching for meaning inside giant hovering colors, and somehow the experience still works every single time. Maybe that is the real achievement. He created paintings that continue to emotionally affect people without ever fully revealing why. And honestly, I still do not fully understand Rothko, but maybe complete understanding was never the point. Maybe the point was simply to stay there long enough for the painting to start understanding you instead.